The camera flash went off in the girl's locker room before she even realized what was happening. Lena froze mid-motion. She had just peeled off her sweaty gym shirt and was reaching for her hoodie when she heard giggles erupt behind her. "Got it!" Jessica's voice rang out, followed by the sharp sound of her friend's laughter. Click. Click. Another photo. Lena's heart sank. Her first thought wasn't embarrassment over her body, it was fear. Fear that her scars, the ones she'd spent years hiding, would be exposed to the entire school. But as the laughter echoed, Lena realized something even stranger. The girls weren't mocking her scars. They weren't even noticing them. They were laughing because they thought she was someone else. And that misunderstanding would set off a chain of events that no one expected, least of all Lena herself. Chapter 1: The Invisible Girl. Lena James was the kind of girl who could slip into a classroom and never be noticed. She sat in the back, took careful notes, and rarely raised her hand. Teachers appreciated her quiet focus. Students barely remembered her name. She wasn't unpopular, exactly. She was invisible. And invisibility, Lena often thought, was both a blessing and a curse. It was easier not to be noticed. Easier to blend into the background, away from cruel jokes or gossip. But invisibility also meant loneliness. She ate lunch by herself, walked home by herself, lived in her own world where books and sketchpads were her only companions. Her parents loved her, but life wasn't easy. Her father worked double shifts at a factory, often coming home too exhausted to talk. Her mother worked mornings at a diner, returning with sore feet and forced smiles. Lena was used to fending for herself. Dinner was usually reheated leftovers, and conversation at the table was rare. At school, she wore thrift store jeans and oversized hoodies, always tugging the sleeves down to her wrists. Nobody knew why she dressed the way she did. Nobody asked. And Lena never told. Because the truth was too heavy to share. Chapter 2: The Scars. When Lena was 8, her world had shattered in an instant. She and her mother were driving home late one night when a drunk driver ran a red light. The car spun, glass shattering, metal crushing. Lena woke up in the hospital with tubes in her arms and stitches along her torso. She survived, but survival came at a cost. Her body carried long, jagged scars across her ribs and stomach. For years, Lena believed those scars were ugly. She never let anyone see them. Not even her closest relatives. At sleepovers in middle school, she always pretended to be sick when girls changed into pajamas. At pool parties, she faked headaches to avoid wearing swimsuits. By high school, hiding had become second nature. Baggy hoodies. Quick changes in locker rooms. Avoidance of attention. But hiding couldn't last forever. Chapter 3: The Bullies. Jessica Parker was everything Lena wasn't. Her sidekick, Madison, echoed everything Jessica said. Madison wasn't cruel on her own, but she laughed the loudest at Jessica's jokes, cheered at every insult, and carried gossip like a torch. And then there was Sophie, the quiet one. She rarely spoke, never led, but she was always there, standing behind Jessica like a shadow. Lena avoided them religiously. But in gym class, with sweaty drills and mandatory locker room changes, she couldn't always escape. And on that fateful day, she didn't. Chapter 4: The Photo. The whistle had barely blown to end basketball drills when Lena dashed to the locker room. Her chest still heaved from running laps. She just wanted to change quickly and disappear before Jessica's crew arrived. But fate wasn't on her side. As Lena tugged her shirt over her head, she heard the footsteps, the distinct clatter of expensive sneakers. Well, Jessica drawled. Look who decided to join us. Lena's pulse quickened. She turned her back, pulling her hoodie from the locker. Then, click. Jessica's phone camera flashed. Did you see that? Madison squealed. She looks like a boy under there. The girls erupted into laughter. Lena's throat closed up. She wanted to scream, to snatch the phone, to erase the image before it spread. But her body betrayed her. She froze. "Delete it," she whispered, barely audible. Jessica smirked. "Why? Embarrassed? Don't want people to see the real you?" Those words pierced Lena's heart. Because the truth was, she was afraid. Terrified, in fact. Not of looking like a boy, but of people seeing the scars she'd hidden for so long. Chapter 5, The Fallout. By the next morning, whispers floated through the hallways. "Did you see the photo? Is that Lena? I heard she's hiding something." The picture hadn't gone online yet. Jessica was smarter than that. She spread it in private group chats, passing it around like a secret weapon. Enough people had seen it to start rumors, but not enough for teachers to step in. Lena walked through school like she was moving underwater. Every giggle, every side glance, every hushed conversation felt like it was about her. Her stomach knotted. At lunch, she sat alone, pushing food around her tray. She wanted to disappear. That was when someone sat down across from her. "Hey! Is this seat taken?" She looked up in surprise. It was Noah. Chapter 6, Noah. Noah Carter wasn't like the other boys. He wasn't the loud, popular type who played football. He wasn't the quiet loner, either. He existed somewhere in between, carrying a sketchbook everywhere, wearing headphones around his neck, and offering a friendly smile to anyone who crossed his path. He slid his tray onto the table and sat down, unbothered by the stares. He slid his tray onto the table and sat down, unbothered by the stares. "I heard what happened," he said calmly. Lena stiffened. "Then why are you sitting here?" "Because rumors are just noise," Noah shrugged. And so, slowly, in the days that followed, she began to open up to him. Chapter 7, The Secret Shared. One afternoon after school, Lena found herself sitting with Noah in the art room. He was sketching while she stared at the blank paper in front of her. "Why do you always draw trees?" she asked. Noah tilted his head, showing her a page. The tree was scarred, bark twisted, but branches reached tall into the sky. "Because they survive," he said softly. "They get cut, burned, broken, but they keep growing. Kind of like people." Something cracked inside Lena's chest. She pulled up her sleeve and, for the first time, showed someone one of her scars. Noah didn't flinch. Didn't gasp. Didn't pity her. Instead, he smiled gently. "See? Stronger than any tree." Tears blurred Lena's vision. She had never felt seen like this before. Chapter 8, Standing Up. The next gym class, Lena made a choice. She walked into the locker room, heart pounding. Jessica smirked, phone already in hand. But this time, Lena didn't hide. She pulled off her hoodie, letting her scars show. "Yes," she said firmly, voice steady. "This is me. I have scars. I survived something most people couldn't. So if you want to laugh, go ahead. But I'm done hiding." The locker room fell silent. Jessica's smirk faltered. Madison shifted uncomfortably. Sophie stared at the ground. And for the first time, Lena realized bullies only had power if she gave it to them. Chapter 9, The Shift. Word spread again, but this time, the whispers carried a different tone. "She's so brave. I didn't know she went through that. That's actually inspiring." Teachers praised her courage. Students who had never spoken to her offered quiet smiles in the hallway. Even Sophie approached her after school, voice trembling. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I should have stopped them. You're stronger than any of us." Lena didn't forgive instantly. But she felt lighter. For the first time, she wasn't invisible. She wasn't a victim. She was a survivor. Chapter 10, The Lesson. Months later, Lena wasn't the same girl who hid behind hoodies. She joined art club with Noah. She spoke up more in class. She even dared to laugh louder, walk taller, and smile freely. Her scars hadn't disappeared, but her shame had. She realized something powerful: everyone carries scars. Some on their skin, some deep inside. And kindness is the only thing that makes those scars easier to bear. Closing message. So if you've ever felt judged, misunderstood, or ashamed of something that makes you different, remember Lena's story. Your scars don't make you weak. They make you a survivor. Speech balloon, tell me in the comments, have you ever been bullied for something people didn't understand about you? I'd love to hear your story. And if this touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss another story like this one. This is Be Kind Always, Where's Story.